Whoops, hold on. Welcome back, guys. So let's play Trails in the Sky. Last time, we explored Rolent. Today we're gonna do the Bracer exam. And just where do you think you're going? We aren't finished with training. These are very important, so make sure not to lose them. Receive Bracer Notebook. Bracer Notebook serves as the official way to record the status of your current job. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find in win. These kinds of trivia things can often be complete. No matter how insignificant some may seem, always write down. Understood? Crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Oh, please tell me with my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important thing for all bracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, so. Okay, I got it. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door. You can see that there's a bulletin board standing there. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. When the bulletin board is approached, an exclamation mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display the job list. By selecting the job names on the list, you can view their details. The bulletin board is over there. Quit screwing around and check the job description. Nah. Okay. Training retrieval. Client Sherazard. Pay 500 Mira. Details direct request. The training will involve searching the sewers beneath Rolent and bringing back the contents of a trash. Chest. See Sherazard for details. Details of the job confirmed on the bulletin board and other important events will be automatically recorded in the Bracer Notebook. The Bracer Notebook can easily be found by clicking on the Books tab of the Items menu. It can also be accessed by configuring a Bracer Book shortcut button on the configuration menu. Very good. It looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a Bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which you need Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also important duty for Bracers. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs itself. I think being a Bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I'll just have to be more motivated. If that's so, had a change of heart, have you? You betcha! Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will we be doing this time? We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melden's Orbal Factory and learning about how to use the terminal. He has graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay! Here's where you'll learn how to use an Orbal Factory service. At an Orbal Factory, you can modify your orbits and synthesize support quartz in order to use Orbal arts. Arts have a wide range of effects and if mastered can be extremely helpful. Bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has had a long-standing relationship with these Orbal Factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the experts. So, Mr. Melvin, if you want mind taking over from here. No problem. Leave everything to me. So what is it that you would like to know? Orbits are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz. By definition, that means that lights, airship engines, and so on are also types of orbits. However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle orbits, which enhance the user's physical abilities and makes it possible to use magic. Since each orbit is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structure for these devices is also different for each orbit. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them vary. At any rate, that's the layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be opened at an Orbal Factory like this. It'll take a fair amount of effort to EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening on them all as soon as possible. Simply put, Orbal arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle moves. In other words, a number of peculiar effects can be released by using the Orbal energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since all arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably after I've been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, the corresponding quartz must first be synthesized at an Orbal Factory. Orbits are also set up that once a particular quartz is installed into a plot, the owner will be able to use those orbits. The type of arts one can use also changes, depending on the elemental value and the combination of installed quartz. Basically, if you want to use water arts, all you have to do is install quartz with the water elemental value. In reality, orbits are much more complex than what I have described. I think this information should be correct. Quartz are circuits made from cells. Quartz have a vast number of effects that raise the owner's ability while simultaneously making it possible for the use of these arts. However, you will not be able to harness any of these effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots, in which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. This being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check your orbit and decide where you will be installing it ahead of time. Sepith are fragments of septium which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: earth brown, water blue, fire red, wind green, time black, space gold, and mirage silver. Sepith can be exchanged for mirror almost anywhere, but at the Orbal Factory it can be used to synthesize quartz into open orbit slots which to install the synthesized quartz. It looks like Mr. Melders has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some Sepith. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize the 2 quartz. Normally, you begin by first making an elemental quartz that will work with each of the particular orbits. In your case, Scout, any elemental quartz is okay, but for you, Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. Normally at a shop, you would be able to exchange Sepith for mirror, but for this training, you will not be able to use this service. And their college kid will kill, I guess, that. Hi there, looks like you're doing well. Alright, looks like you were able to synthesize one. Next time, I want you to increase RCP. I'll install a course of your orbits. Okay, alright, looks like you've got most recovery and attack arts set up. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your bracelet notebooks contain information about which quartz allow you to use which arts. If you'd like to use more powerful arts, check on the arts and quartz charts in the bracelet notebooks and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have you open a new slot. One of you open a new slot in your orbits. The more slots you have available to you, the broader range of choices you have. Since EP, which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them all earlier. Now I want you to use this and open a slot in each of your orbits. Go ahead and decide which slots you're going to open. Good work on opening up a slot, Joshua. Since the central slot is limited to a certain elemental, it would be best to increase your orbit's number of open slots early on. This concludes your training here at the Orbal Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test. Pardon? Did you just say test? You can't honestly tell her that you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you just this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk about along those lines with Frank the Stable. Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracelet Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for it. How about a little less yapping and a little more walking? Joshua! Help me! Smeldas, Freddy, thank you for all your help. Don't mention it. In production with that test. We'll be rooting for you. I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua! All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Isel? Schera? What now? I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something? Did Cassie's drop go on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Yeah, and? I even made you jot down what you read in your Nacer book. Bracer notebooks, unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listed mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? What a relief. Oh, divine Adios, I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. So what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test? No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbal Factory. I can already feel all the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed. I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about both of you try to at least look a little anxious? Just so you both know, though, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for both of you. We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let's lose. Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just pulling our hair with the results of the test? Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, this test will be a search conducted in Rolent Sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents of a chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real living, breathing monsters out there, so if you get careless and let your guard down, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. What's this book for? It's called the Monster Guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in here. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. You've got a really good head on your shoulders, Joshua. That's probably something pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Schera. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then, let's get pumped and knocked out this test. But don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure we treat it as such. Oh, I can finally give my voice a rest. There appears to be a recovery point set up over there. Let's use it for if our HP and EP become low before engaging in any further battles. Sounds like a plan to me. Did I break? Monsters at 12 o'clock. Be careful not to let them take advantage of blindside. Got it. This is just teaching us tutorial about fighting. Hold on.
We're good to go.
Oh, this is gonna be awkward. Here comes some more. To Depending on the enemy, some physical attacks may be ineffective. Let's use arts, not physical attacks. Okay. And it's gonna be just about arts. So basically you have various options, and some options are more effective than others against enemies. In this case, because they're applying clutter, arts is more effective.
Piece of cake.
So let's try using crafts this time around. Some crafts have other effects besides just dealing out damage. Go worth a shot. Well, for that. Okay. And for an example, we're going to use morale, which will increase our strength.
Come on.
We're good to go.
Also, you start at level 3. Come down here for a treasure. Found Reviving Bomb. The chest is empty because of you. Nice work, hero. We will be seeing a lot of the chest messages. I make no promises on seeing all of them. Oh, what a surprise. Another creepy thing. I wish there was an easier way to take care of them. One blow using an S-craft or S-break should do the trick for just about any enemy. The catch is our CPS to be at least 100 before one of those off one of those things. So yeah, we're gonna get taught about S-breaks and S-crafts now. Now, I think this version of the game has a glitch with Joshua's S-craft, where if you try if you skip it, because you can skip S-craft animations, for some reason it will miss.
We're good to go.
I think that's this version of the game. So that's the treasure chest, right? If we make this far, the rest is gonna be a piece of cake. Seems we got we've got a little breathing room at least. Let's pay close attention to our battle this time. There should be a number of ways to get more mileage out of our actions. So I'm actually gonna have a stealth focus on these guys. Joshua focus on the corn creatures. Am I gonna die? No. Because we're gonna throw an art out and kill it.
That's that.
That's victory.
Let's move out.
Found small box 19 times 2. That's weird. There's a couple of boxes inside the chest. The fact that there's not just one, but two is kind of interesting too. Wonder what's inside. Remember, Stella, our mission is to search over trees only. If you're looking inside those boxes, they'll just fall under mission objective. You're not fun at all, Joshua. This has nothing to do with our mission. It's like what I like to call good, honest curiosity. You know, we're almost down here. We're gonna get away with the teensy-weensy cake, right? If you feel like flunking today's test, then by all means, be my guest. Did you just say the F word? Yep, opening one of those boxes can result in an automatic fail for the both of us. If this were a real job, those contents of those boxes would belong to mine. As long as there were nothing illegal, we would have no right to open them. I know you're right, Joshua. But I just can't help myself. If you absolutely have to know what's inside, why not ask for Schera when we get back? But for now, we need to focus on getting out of here. Alright. By looking inside the chest again, you flunked. Just kidding. Good work, you two. As a rule of training, I'm going to need to confirm the items in your possession. Yep, they're the real deal, alright, and I don't see any evidence of tampering either. That was a close one. I figured she would try and set us up like that. Congratulations to both of you. You have successfully passed the qualification test. You didn't really think that something that simple would be a problem for us, did you? So, Schera, what's in those boxes you have to get? That's for me to know and you to find out, after your training is finished. That's enough chit-chat for now, so let's go back to work. You two still have some things left to do. Seriously, but didn't you just say that we passed the test? Stop going about how to report the results of your work. I'm aware that you're both tired, but this is no time to shirk your duties. Let's get back to the guild. Where's this day going to be over? Oh, well, no sense of giving up at the finish line, since I agree. It seems like we're within reaching distance of our goal. Your final training is how to report to the guild. Whenever you finish a job, it is your duty to report the results of your work to the guild. Reporting how you resolve the situation and the steps you took to get there are all part of your job as a bracer. You can report to the results of the front desk in each guild branch, and as you already know by now, Aina is in charge here at the Rolent branch. In addition, this is where you will be paid for your work. I look forward to seeing great things from the both of you. Now that we're here, why don't you both go ahead and report the results of today's training? And yeah. Good job, you two. It seems like you were able to complete your objective without running into any major problems. Another thing to take note of is that depending on how you handle the job, you may see an increase or decrease in the amount of pay you receive. When you report the results of your work to the guild, pay in the form of mirror isn't the only thing you will receive. You also accumulate points, which are known as BP, bracer points. BP are an indication of your achievements as a bracer. When these points exceed a certain value, you will advance in the rank as bracer and be awarded with a piece of special equipment by the guild. The ranks of a junior bracer start at 9 and go all the way up to 1. Please set your sights on making first rank and work hard. The amount of mirror and BP you receive will also be recorded in your bracer notebook, so please have a look sometime later on. What's left to do now is finalize your training. Let's head back upstairs, shall we? I'll talk to you later, Ines, and sorry about putting more work on your plate today than usual. Don't worry about it. Training new bracers is important for the future of the guild. I fully intend to work these two to the bone in any case. To the bone? Knowing Schera and know all the way. Let me say it again. Good work, you two. You have now officially completed the entire training course. From now on, you'll be learning from your own real-world experience. Well then. Scherazard holds out 2 small boxes. Aren't those boxes the ones? In answer to your question, yes, these are the boxes received during today's test. You seem awfully curious to find out what's inside yourself. Are you saying it's okay if we open them? That's right. Why don't the both of you have a look and see what's inside? Sweet! Alright, let's have a look. Stella and Joshua open the box. Receive Junior Bracer Emblem. This crisis! So does this mean that we're... Stella Bright, Joshua Bright. Beginning this day at 1500 hours, you are both hereby appointed as junior bracers within the Bracer Guild. From here on, you will work as members of the Bracer Guild to support the livelihood of those around you, defend peace, and uphold justice. Congratulations, you two, and welcome into the fold. Did you hear that, Joshua? You've become members of the Bracer Guild. So I'm a bracer now, huh? I think the realization is only now just beginning to sink in. Come on, Joshua, you should be jumping for joy or running around and screaming at the top of your lungs like this. Look at us now, world! We did it! I was happy until you might use my eardrum clean. I hate to interrupt the celebration, though, but I need to take off now. I have some backed up work that needs my immediate attention. We understand you have been spending a lot of extra hours working with us during the busy time for the guild. Before you head out, Schera, I just wanted to say thanks. Likewise, I appreciate all the trouble you've gone through for us, Schera. Don't mention it. Training recruits is one of a bracelet's many duties. Believe it or not, I was once in your shoes a long time ago when your father, Cassius, trained me. So that's why you have so much respect for my dad, huh? There's actually much more to it than that, but I'll save that conversation for another day. So the both of you work hard to become full-fledged bracers early on so you can help guide those new recruits who come after yourself. Meantime, I hope to see you both become respectable bracers like your father. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. I just don't get it. Get what? This is Schera, aka the Silver Streak, one of the most skilled young bracers we're talking about. So why is it that she holds Dad in such high esteem? He just seems like nothing more than a no-good middle-aged man who's always out doing who knows what instead of being a father. A no-good middle-aged man, huh? From your viewpoint, it doesn't come as a surprise that you'd see him in that fashion. Huh? Never mind. Let's hurry and head home. We should let Dad know that we qualify as junior bracers. Right. Well, that is going to be it for today's video of Trails in the Sky. Next time, we're going to do another sweep of Rolent. Yay! I'll see y'all then.